Greetings. I'm Robb Dimmick, the Artistic Director of Jazz as a Rainbow. I speak to you on behalf of Lynne Jackson and Michael Palter, founders of Jazz as a Rainbow. We have been presenting this wonderful project for almost 2 decades, always striving for the highest quality, always working with great care to ensure that the talents and extraordinary gifts of our young artists are nurtured and well represented. Although we've all been working tirelessly on Aretha, Queen of Soul, the technical challenges of putting together this virtual show, rehearsed on Zoom and transformed into film, have been a bit daunting. So we're asking for a rain check. We guarantee you will see this beautiful show at a future date. Instead, we are presenting the world broadcast premiere of a truly remarkable Jazz as a Rainbow show, Providence Swings, another totally original piece featuring a stunning cast of teens and some of the greatest songs you'll ever hear. We promise you will not be disappointed. At the end of the show, we offer a sneak peek at Aretha, Queen of Soul, and the excitement that awaits. Before the show, we share with you the many people who made the Aretha project possible. Thank you to all of them. Now, please enjoy Providence Swings, filmed in 2016 at the Columbus Theater. Jazz as a Rainbow was the dream, essentially, of 3 people. And I'm going to bring 2 of them to the stage now. The first is Lynne Jackson. And the second is her husband, Michael Palter.
My husband?
You are the husband. We met, I would say, more than 20 years ago in Lincoln, Massachusetts, working under a young woman who grew up in a wonderful theater in New Hampshire. And the woman who started that theater, who's my best friend, is in the audience today. And that theater was called Cat Company. And we worked with her probably from the age of 12 on up. And when she turned 16, she decided she wanted to start her own theater. And she brought Lynn, Mike, and I together to create that experience. And we've had this wonderful bond ever since then. The bond is important because it's a bond about believing in children, believing in their potential and their power. When you see these young people on stage tonight, you will understand that they understand what jazz is and what jazz has done to transform America. It is really America's true art form. And last year, many of you experienced Celebrity Club Remembered. This story tonight is an extension of that, because it's going to look at the remarkable contributors to the American Songbook who were born and raised or spent most of their lives here in Providence. So these young people, most of them are the product of this wonderful city, and they have embodied this spirit of Providence Swings in an enormously passionate way. They spend 2 weeks with us, Monday through Fridays. They spend 6 hours a day learning jazz, learning vocal technique, learning the history, learning about the sociology, essentially, of what jazz is to Americans and to America. I want to bring out our next musicians, our trumpeter from Berkeley, Dick Lowell. And I want to introduce a young man who started us last year, and this year, just as we were beginning the rehearsal process, mentioned that he played the drums. And we keyed in on that, and so we now have a percussionist in our little band, and that's David Danicher. If he comes to the stage, please. David. I also want to thank a gentleman who has for many, many years supported us in an incredibly unique way, in that he has housed Lynn and Mike. And that's an incredibly important member of our community, Ed Bishop. Please thank him. And lastly, I'd like to recognize Mayor John Lombardi, who's graced us with his presence tonight, and I would like him to please stand and be acknowledged. So, my name is Robb Dimmick. I'm the artistic director of Jazz as a Rainbow, It is such an honor to have such a wonderful, enthusiastic, and loving audience in our presence. Please sit back and enjoy Providence Swings.
William Shakespeare said it like this: if a man doesn't have music in his heart, in his soul, in his spirit, he just can't be trusted.
Cities are like that too.
New Orleans and San Francisco. Now those places shout music. Something you can hold on to.
Something solid.
Something from the heart.
Something from the soul.
But most folks don't know the music of their cities.
Most people take things for advantage, even if it's right under their nose.
The music of a city comes from the people that live in that city.
The people create the music.
Even people from Providence.
Yes, sirree. Listen, if New Orleans bops and San Francisco croons,
Then one thing's for sure.
Providence swings.
Providence swings, from Narragansett they say Providence swings.
Hip hip hooray!
I'm singing from our Russian submarine to Trinity and Duncan D and every place in between.
Providence swings, and every melody seems bright and clear and new.
From Rizzi and from Browning, from Capriccio too.
From Johnson and from Wales and from Park Avenue.
From Watermaid and Hope and all the snails in the zoo.
That's Providence is singing for you.
Providence swings, I'm not exaggerating, Providence swings.
I hear it syncopating
From North Broadway Avenue
Till the book club.
and fingers pop.
it's belting a song for you.
Providence swings. I'm hearing every note on every avenue.
Just when you think hope's running out and everything's wrong,
Or when you feel there's no place where you really belong.
just listen for the melody and wait for the song. Providence swings, Providence swings, Providence swings for you.
Providence, Providence,
Providence!
Do you know what happened in Providence on July 4th on Yankee Doodle Day? It was 1878.
George M. Cohan was born. He became about the most famous singer and dancer in the world. He was even awarded a medal by President Roosevelt.
He also wrote songs for the people of America.
And in times of war, songs to call every man and every woman in every state to fight for the country he loves.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high flying flag, you forever please me wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, home of the free and the brave.
Every heart beats true, beat the red, white, and blue, where there's never a ghost or crack. Should all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
I'm the kid that's all the candy, I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, I'm glad I am, so's Uncle Sam.
I'm a real life Yankee Doodle, made my name in fame and boodle, just like Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle die, a real life nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart, she's my Yankee Doodle joy.
Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride a pony.
I am that Yankee Doodle boy. You're a grand old flag, you're a high
George M. Cohan isn't the only one with Providence connections. Did you know that Bobby Hackett, the great cornet player, was born here?
Cornet?
Yeah, it's like a trumpet. Nobody ever played sweeter than Bobby, and nobody ever played a greater solo than Bobby in String of Pearls with the great Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Baby, here's the 5 and dime, baby. Now's about the time for a string of pearls low.
Every pearl's a starbook wrapped in dreams and filled with love that whole string of pearls alone.
Till that happy day in spring when I buy the wedding ring, please a string of pearls low. Baby, you make quite a start, found a way right to my heart for a string of pearls low.
Baby, here's a 5 and dime, baby. Now's about the time for a string of pearls alone.
Baby, here's the 5 and dime, baby. Now's about the time for a string of pearls low.
Wow, George M. Cohan and Bobby Hackett.
That's only the beginning.
Speaking of the beginning, have you ever heard of Madam Ciceretta Jones?
Ciceretta Jones grew up right here in Providence in the late 1800s.
She became the most famous African-American opera singer in America. She sang all over the world for kings, queens, and even 3 presidents. She received 17 medals, and sometimes she wore them all when she sang.
When a reporter compared her beautiful voice to the famous Italian opera singer Adelina Patti, she got another name, Black Patti.
She became even more famous in vaudeville as the star of the Black Patti Troubadours.
Vaudeville and the White House, just like George M. Cohan.
Yes, just like George M. Cohan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Madam Ciceretta Jones.
Mio bambino caro, mi piace il bel nome.
just a rebellious bird that no one can ever hope to tame. Do not call him, you won't be heard. He may refuse you if that's his game. Nothing moves him, no threat or plea. One rants mute, another talks with glee. Oh, it's the first one I'd rather see, for he said nothing but he pleases me. Gypsy child, there are no rules he's ever cared about. If you don't love me, then I'm beguiled. But if I love you, you had best watch out. If you don't love me, if you don't love me, I'm beguiled. But if I love you, you'd best watch out.
But Ciceretta was prevented from singing at the Metropolitan Opera House because of racism.
Her talent and her dignity broke down walls and paved the way for gifted black performers, such as Marian Anderson and Leontine Price.
Before hip-hop and rap, before Billie Holiday and Nat King Cole, there was Ciceretta Jones from Providence, Rhode Island.
She retired here in 1920 and spent the rest of her life singing in the Cogman Street Baptist Church.
Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
You may talk about your kings of Gideon. You may talk about your men of Saul, but there's none like good old Joshua and the battle of Jericho.
Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
The lamb, ram, sheep, born began to
Cohan, Bobby Hackett, and Ciceretta Jones. They all grew up in Providence, and that's not all. Ever heard of Ralph Ranger?
No!
He was famous for composing American popular music. He wrote dozens of hit songs.
Was he born in Providence too?
No,
So why is he in Power Show?
he began to write songs after he graduated from law school.
So what?
Brown University Law School.
Oh.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise, bird in the tree, Twitter Louise. Each little rose tells me it knows I love you. Every little beat that I feel in my heart seems to repeat what I felt at the start. Each little sign tells me that I adore you, Louis. Just to see and hear you bring joys I never knew. But to be so near you thrills me through and through. Everyone can see why I wanted your kiss. It had to be, but the wonder is this: can it be true? Someone like you could love me, Louis. Just to see and hear you bring joys I never knew. But to be so near you thrills me through and through. Anyone can see why I wanted your kiss. It had to be, but the wonder is this: can it be true? Someone like you could love me, Louise.
If I should lose you, the stars would fall from the sky. If I should lose you, the leaves would wither and die. The birds in Maytime, they'd sing a mournful refrain, and I would wander around, hating the sound of the
With you beside me, the rose would bloom in the snow.
for the memories of a ranger's lovely scores.
Black Paddy's troubadours.
For Bobby's sweetest solo.
And Cohen's marching corps.
We thank you for the gifts you gave and offer our applause. We thank you so much. Providence ways, sweet-bee-dee-ba-da-ba-da, Providence ways, sweet-bee-dee-ba-da-ba-da, from old Narragansett Bay to Tommy's Pizzeria and the steakhouse along the way.
You've got to remember, not everyone gets to be as famous as Sister Retta Jones, Bobby Hackett, or Ralph Ranger.
For every American Idol, there's someone like Frank Durone.
Frank was one of the greatest jazz singers and guitarists who ever lived. His fans included Tony Bennett and Nat King Cole.
Can you guess where Frank Durone was born?
You got it. Poor little sad little blue Lucette, don't you cry, don't you fret. You can bet one lucky day you'll wake and your blues will be forsaken. Some lucky day, lovely love will come your way.
Long as there's love in your heart to share, dear Lucette, don't despair. Some blue boy is waiting just like you to find the someone to be true to. Two loving arms you can nestle in and stay.
Get set, Lucette, true love is coming. Your lonely heart soon will be humming.
Dwee-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, dwee-ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-dwee-ba. Some lucky day, lovely love will come your way. That magic day, Lucette. Get set, Lucette, true love is coming. Your lonely heart soon will be humming. Dwee-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, dwee-ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-dwee-ba. Some lucky day, lovely love will come your way. That magic day, Lucette.
The American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
Live, right, live, right, live about basic.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hear them calling you and me every
for writing patriotic songs. Some called them flag-waving songs or love of country songs. That's the great thing about music. It's usually about love. Love of something or somebody. You might even say music flies on the wings of love. And nobody knows that better than Jeffrey Osborne. He wrote the song, he sang the song, and yes, he is one of ours, another son of Providence.
Just smile for me and let the day begin. You are the sunshine that lights my heart within. And I know that you're an angel in disguise. Come take my hand and together we will rise.
On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high, flying high upon the wings of love.
You look at me and I begin to melt, just like the snow when a ray of sun is fell. And I'm crazy about you, baby, can't you see? I'd be so delighted if you could come with me.
On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high, flying high upon the wings of love. Yes, you belong to me, and I'm yours exclusively. And right now we live and breathe together.
Inseparable it seems, we're flowing like a stream, running free, traveling on the wings of love.
On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love.
On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high, together flying high.
On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high upon the wings of love. Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Harold Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old time crowd. Give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be
And now, as promised, a sneak peek at Aretha, Queen of Soul.